crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and thanks for being here this afternoon. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon in warm Phoenix area. I'm not sure. I know at one point we were hitting 99. I don't know what we got to today. Just 109, so not too crazy yet. But 109 today. So interesting. So I will tell you, we went to do a Costco run this morning, and it was definitely warm getting in and out of Costco, plus just hundreds and thousands of people. It just amazes me how all of us flock to Costco. And I swore I was not spending as much money as I did last time, and actually really groceried this time. So really kind of focused on just picking up meat is really why I went, but still spent way, way, way more money than I anticipated. I had a figure in mind that I figured we'd hit, and unfortunately, we doubled that figure. So it's what it is. I've got I go back to work tomorrow, make more money, so I can eat well other times. But I don't know, just kind of crazy. So thanks for being here this afternoon. And I was just amazed. The chat is just blowing up, and I hadn't even got here. Look at Miss Joydy. She was 27 minutes early. Good afternoon, Miss Joydy. I hope things in North Carolina are going well for you. And Katie, my buddy in the Greenland Quilter, I watched her the other day. She had all kinds of ladies on with her and working on several projects. So I was able to catch part of that the other day. I still need to catch up with Miss Katie, but we will do so after our Fourth of July. It's just between coming back from vacation, trying to get stuff going, and trying to get other things. Just feel like I don't have 5 minutes right now, but it is what it is. Inez, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. There's Miss Balloonist from Tucson. She says, good hot afternoon. It is getting hot in the state of Arizona right now. So just kind of crazy. There's Russ and Quilt Meets World. He says, hi, chat, and happy Sunday fun day. Always fun to have Russ on with me. Always enjoy having Russ. I watched him and Stephanie, I think it was yesterday, and then watched part of his live the other yesterday. So he's been a busy trooper this weekend for sure. And of course, he's knocking out some amazing projects. It just kills me. See, Sally's here from California. Hey, Miss Sally. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Katrina's on. Thanks for being here, Katrina. Good afternoon to you. Katrina says, looks like rain coming in out back and blue skies and sun in the front, right? It's just crazy sometimes what our weather can look like. Hey, Jackie, thanks for being here this afternoon. Jean's here. Welcome in, Jean. Katrina, well, had thunderstorm hours ago. No rain. I wouldn't mind having some rain. Russ sent me pictures the other day, actually video of the mega storms that they were having down in Georgia. And I mean, just torrential rains. It was crazy. Brian's here. Hey, Brian, thanks for being here this afternoon. Jeannie's here. Zaza's here. Hey, Miss Zaza. Joydy. Barb's here. Thanks for joining, Barb. Let's see, I'm trying to get through. I love when Joydy always says Zaza Lita. A mouthful for me, so I just stick with Zaza. Which always makes me want to sing the Green Acres theme. I don't know why. Just crazy. Jackie says it's 112 in Chandler. How crazy. See, I like being way out in the suburbs where it's much cooler, you know? We were only 109. Inez says 68 here. You know, and that sounds like such perfect weather, but the problem is that temperature goes down. It doesn't always go up. Hey, Judy, thanks for being in this afternoon. All right, I think I'm getting caught up. Goodness gracious. Zaza says it's midnight there and 63 degrees. Wow. Hey, and thanks for being up with us. That means a lot to me. I had no idea. It's just funny. I have a hard enough just time keeping up with times around Arizona. Fortunately, it's so crazy because the company I used to work for that decided they didn't need me anymore was I had to cover territories across the U.S., so I was constantly converting time, but not so much anymore. And it's kind of nice not to have to. Sally says Costco New York strip steaks are terrific. Yes, they are. We bought sirloins today. I bought roast today. I bought beef tips today. I bought two 6-pack packages of chicken because we eat a lot of chicken. So that's 12 packages of chicken. Of course, you can never go wrong with Costco bacon. So that's where all my money went. But I know we only go to Costco every other month or so. So I really bought meat for the month, and I actually have a new vacuum sealer to put all the meat in and that. So that'll make a big difference too, because we need to take care of this expensive meat nowadays. So Terry's here. Hey, so Terry, thanks for joining. Who else? Jen's here. Good evening, she says. Judy, Sally. Goodness gracious, I'm trying to get caught up. Mama Jan's here. Hey, Mama Jan, thanks for being on this afternoon. And she says, I'll see you soon. She's planning to come over after the live this afternoon to swap out some things. See, Russ has always got to be Russ. Why should Zaza make you think of Green Acres? It was Ava Gabor. We always said Ava, even though I think it was probably Eva in that show. Yes, but the Gabor sisters um, still makes me think of it. Plus, I love the theme song, and I know the theme song by heart. Thank you. Um, Thank you, Katie. We've had a busy day, busy weekend, but we're getting there. So Terry says, I haven't caught a live yet. So this is what it is. It doesn't get much better, girl. Thanks for being here, though. It's been a minute. Katie says, oh, so what did I get done? Um, so let me show you. If you're not on the Facebook page and that, you probably haven't seen some of the things I got knocked out this week. I don't know why. Uh, I think I liked this table runner pattern so much that I ended up doing several of those and knocking those out. And I bought this crazy fabric from Joann's probably about 3 years ago because it was like $2 or $3 a yard. And I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I think I always buy a fabric thinking I might make totes with it. But anyways, I ended up doing more of these totes or table runners. But I just loved this stupid pattern. And then this is the backing that I used on it. And I just love, I don't know, I just like the funness of um, of this Thanksgiving pattern. So I ended up making two. So I made one for myself and I made one for my daughter. And since she won't watch my lives or recordings, I can say that because I know she's never going to know it's coming. Then I had found this fall fabric that I had bought, and it doesn't do justice to it in pictures because I'm telling you, it's got such a gold tone that runs through it. It is just beautiful. And then I contrasted it with almost what I would have in the old days said was Washington Redskin red. But I know there's no such thing as the Washington Redskins anymore, so I don't know what to call this. But, anyways, because it was the closest thing I had to burgundy, but then as I got it put together, it just seemed like it really went so well with this table runner. So a little bit more elegant, because I do tend to do a lot of more playful stuff. So I thought it was kind of a nice balance. So I got that one done. So that's 3 table runners I did this week. And then I got this knocked out, which goes with the gnomes. So if Danielle was on, Danielle would be loving my gnomes right now. And then I found the border fabric that almost just matches um, just matches right perfect. So it doesn't give that huge contrast, but I kind of like the way it blends. And it almost looks like the trees here, there's more leaves that fell off all the way around it. So I really like the way that turned out. So, um, and I don't know if it's going to end up with me or where it's going to end up, but um, I don't know because now I've got like 10 of these done. And then I walked by my stash yesterday or today, and I found another Halloween fabric, and I was like, "Oh my god, that would make a perfect table runner." And I was like, "You got to stop. I can only use so many, and I can only send so many to my kids." So uh, I'm trying to slow down on table runners right now. I think I just like the idea that it gets completed so quick and easy. So you're getting some check marks. So that makes all the difference. So, what else are we working on? Oh, so I started working on the Halloween quilt from the fabric that I bought um, at the beach. I couldn't think of where I bought the fabric, so I bought it at Quilting at the Beach, and it was really, really a cool fabric. And so my partner picked it out, and they were very anxious for um, kind of anxious for me to get it done. So I did work on it. I ended up doing my own pattern because even though I thought I bought a couple of yards of the fabric, I think I only ended up buying like a yard and a half of it. And so I decided I would make this more of a wall hanging because I thought that would be kind of cool. And so I ended up cutting out blocks with my AccuQuilt, and I thought it would really be cool to do a four blocker, right? Because I have actually, believe it or not, never done a four blocker. So I thought that would be kind of cool to knock that out. So then, as I got these all knocked out and laid it out and decided how it was going to look, then I realized I still didn't have enough. And then I found the third fabric that was supposed to go with this. That's the contrasting fabric that I forgot about. So it ended up turning into a full size quilt. Wasn't supposed to be. It was really going to be a wall hanging, but you know what? Those things happen. So what ended up happening was this. I ended up doing this entire quilt, and then because I knew I was going to be short, I ended up putting a four block of the spiders in the center, which if you can really see the overall picture, I took a picture and put it on Facebook, but I'll tell you it did not photograph as well as it looks in person. And then I went back and put the border fabric on with the spiders. And I don't know, I'm really, really happy with it. He's very happy with it, which is really the most important thing. Um, all I got to do is figure out how to get this on Gracie because I really would like to stitch it myself. And I've got actually a really cool spider pattern with cobwebs and a spider that would really look cute on here and kind of carry that spider theme out. So maybe after the 4th of July, when we get back, we can actually start making Gracie work again. Because I will say, I really, really, really like the new long armor I met. She's a sweetheart. She runs a Gamel, is her machine. Um, she's knocking out the four quilts for me. It's funny. Again, I posted some of those pictures on Facebook and that. So when she starts your project and gets it loaded on the machine, she actually takes a picture of your quilt on the machine and that, and then she takes a picture after of what it looks like stitched out. All four of the quilt tops I gave her are complete as far as quilting. Then she told me the other day that, and so I paid her to square them up after she was done, and I just paid her to go on and do the binding because I just want something done. Um, so she texted me the other day to let me know that she had them all squared up. She needed to work on the binding. And I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. She texted me to let me know she had two of the four done because she had originally asked me if I wanted to get them as she was finishing or just wait and get them all at one time. And I was like, no, I don't want to make two trips over to Sun City, even though it's not that far, but it's like, I just don't want to make two trips. So she's got two of the four done, and she only meets folks on Friday mornings. So I was really, really, really hoping she would have had them done this past Friday. She did not. My guess is she'll have them done next Friday, which won't matter because I won't be here. So it'll be another week. But I've actually thought about just taking this to her too. And I was like, no, I really got to start using my own machines and doing my own thing. So the plan is for me to do that and um, not take them over to her. Hmm. All right, let's go back and see if I can read a few comments because I am y'all just chatting away anymore, and I am just missing out. So Luna says, I made turkeys back a mask back in the day with your backing fabric and had lots of smiles. It's just such a cool fabric. I mean, I've never been a big Joann's shopper just because I didn't like the Joann's that's out here. It was just kind of always dirty and disorganized. So I just didn't go there much, but I would occasionally go. And they did have a lot of fun fabrics that you didn't find in some of the quilt shops in there. Because at the end of the day, guys, I am what you call, Jeffrey used to call us, a Toys R Us kid. And I absolutely do not want to grow up. So I am still a Toys R Us kid. Mama Chan says, don't forget about the So Long on the 4th. I'm using Fabric Tuesday for the Christmas table runner. Look at you. You go, girl. Gnomes, Martha's Creative Life. Hey, Martha, thanks for being here this afternoon. Yes, I tell you what, you can never have too many gnomes. I don't care what anyone says. I love the gnomes. Brian says he likes the red trucks that's in the fall pattern. Thank you. Sally's a gnome fan too. See, there's a lot of us out there. We're all gnomies. Jody says, land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan. Just give me that countryside. Amen, girl. Gnome fans unite. Katie says, let's see if John gets it. I think I got it, unless I missed. I may have missed part of the conversation. Y'all have been chatting. Oh, Zaza, that is a good idea. And the lady that I got this pattern from off YouTube actually did, it was only like a 20-minute video, but in the second half of the video, she did placemats in that, which is what my daughter keeps asking for. So I may go back and look at those. I think placemats turn me off a little bit because I just don't want to do the binding on them. But I do need to go back and look at her because this pattern was so simple. I can't believe that the placemats wouldn't be as simple. And I would like to. My daughter really does want some placemats, so that'll be next on the list. Valley Honey Bee, Valley Honey. Hey, welcome in. Hi, Valley from Chicago. I bet you're having a beautiful summer, or I wonder if some of this heat wave's even making its way there. I remember a few years ago, I did a half marathon, rock and roll marathon in Chicago, because again, I was trying to do one in every state. And for Illinois, I did Chicago, and I think it was the end of June. And of course, you run around the lake and all that up there in downtown Chicago. It was really a cool race, but I remember getting up race morning. It was like 58 or something. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm flying in from Phoenix where it's already in the hundreds. And my old muscles were tight, let me tell you. As I said, Jackie, I love that it's like getting new fabric, right? Jody says, I have the pattern and the fabric for the quilt along, but I can't sew and chat at the same time, so I'm not sure what all will be doing. I agree. I tell you, that's the hardest thing for me because I want to read what's going on in the chat. I do miss having a moderator at some point. My channel, I think, is getting big enough. I need to have someone help moderate sometimes because I do miss some of the chat. And then I do want to try to sew. And you can see we're 20 minutes in, and I have yet to even think about the sewing machine and haven't even got to show you everything I got done. Um, Sally says it looks bigger than it looked in the picture on Facebook. Nice. It is much bigger. It was crazy. It turned out to be 82 by 62, something like that. It was, again, I really meant when I started cutting out the 4 blocks, I really designed it to be a wall hanging. It's really didn't need another full, big quilt, twin quilt, I guess. But I got what I got, and I do like it. I do think it turned out really cool, and it's my pattern, which was even better. And there may be a pattern out there that's like that. I don't know, but I couldn't find what I wanted, and I ended up just going with my own thing. Oh, Katrina says she's got her Missouri Star Garden friends ready to go to the long armor as soon as the backing gets there. Tell you what, it makes a difference, and you got to have the right backing, or just throws off the whole quilt, right? Hey, Becky. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here. Jen says she likes the Halloween quilt. Thank you so much. Trina says, I need to figure out when my son's family coming. I'd like to start the quilt from the open gate Christmas box, but the house needs cleaning first. Yes, I want to do. I quit subscribing to Open Gate. I like Open Gate. Never had an issue with Open Gate. But I think their monthly subscription, which I think now is every other month, is like $66, and it was just getting to be too much. Plus, as Joydy will tell you, I have stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff everywhere that I need to work on. But they did the tilted presents one, and then she ended up that pattern design went over so well. She did it for the spring, fall, and all that. And I did join the club for that. I have yet to get the first one done, and I still want to work on it. But I really did like that. So they had some really cool things down at Open Gate. So I only stopped just because I was so buried with other things. Look at Judy. She says, I'm on the last zone on the long arm and got another quilt to bind. How cool is that? Yeah, see, Jen says do the placemats in the batting and backing in the envelope fashion, birth it and just top stitch it. I think that's really what I prefer, especially for placemats. Although I did do, if you all remember a few months ago, I did a lot for Easter and St. Patrick's and Valentine's, just because I needed the practice with binding. But I kind of feel like I've got my binding down, at least much better than it was. Brian says, I wrap the backing around to the front and stitch it in the ditch when I make my placemats. I'll have to look at that. I'll have to look at a pattern like that. Oh, Katrina says they're not doing an advent box this year. I'll be honest, I decided not to buy their advent box. I liked their box, and I think it was 12 days, if I'm not mistaken. I always, for some reason, I always wanted to say 13, but I think it was 12 days. I did like their box. At the end of the day, I think it was a good value. I think you got a lot of value for what was in that box. But again, that box was almost $200, I think, or maybe over $200. And, I just had to cut back. The only reason I bought the Missouri Star quilt and stop Russ. I know he's going to make a comment again because I have the three plates or the four plates and the three coffee mugs that match the four plates. And I wanted that fourth coffee mug, which everyone's hoping is going to be in the um, box this year. So I ended up buying the box from Missouri Star again. But so far, that's the only one I have bought. I bought several. I bought Gingers a few years ago. It didn't, it wasn't what set well for me, so I didn't do it. I bought another one from Keepsake. Um, I bought the Keepsake box last year, I think, and the year before. And I just don't think the value in that box was there. But I do think Open Gate was, but it was just, again, it's just too much in that. Um, but we'll see. Hey, Danielle, thanks for being on this afternoon. You missed the gnomes. How could you join so late and miss my gnomes? Where's my gnomes? Let me show you. I got one more fall table runner done. Look at that, Danielle. More gnomes. Danielle says we're going to do a Halloween project together. So I can only imagine what girlfriend has in mind. So that should be fun. All right. And then I got the Halloween one. And then I had cut this out of the AccuQuilt a while back. It is called um, the Twirling Ornaments Wall Hanging. And I am so happy the way this turned out. For the most part, everything matched up and lined up. I got it done today. And so This is the one that I had done with that red and green, and it's all in the grays. Come on. Wow, really? This is just not working out at all, is it? So, but I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. And if you notice, the green is in three different shades of green, but it's all got the gold, and the red's the same way. That is actually fat quarters that I had bought a while back, and so I couldn't be happier than how this one turned out. I need to get it quilt. I mean, like literally, I just got this done a couple hours ago, but I need to figure out what I want to do for quilting it. Um, some of the other quilts I've done just the straight line, like the checkerboard and that. I don't think I want to do that on here. Um, I don't really know what I want to do on this one. So maybe something more like snowflakes or something. But this one may actually end up on Gracie just because I think I want a certain pattern versus using the sit down, which is what I'm trying to use more for this size stuff because it just helps me get it done faster. But I just don't think I want to do free motion on this one. So we'll have to see. I know Mama Jan and others will have some opinions to share with me, so I'm sure they'll come up with something. But again, I am not endorsed by anyone, OpenGate, AccuQuilt, anything. So anytime I talk about a brand or anything specific out there, it's John's opinion that comes out of John's paycheck and pays for everything. But that was just a pattern. It was actually one of their bob dies to work off of, and it was just something I really wanted to do um, different. Katrina says, see, you could echo the pinwheels. That's a good idea. It's just, I don't know why. It's the first time I've done anything like that. So it's just kind of thrown me about what do I think would work with that. Becky says it would make a great quilt. I agree. I have to say there was a lot more matching and seams than that than I had originally anticipated. But then like once I got it all cut and segregated out and started putting it together, it actually went together pretty quick. So plus the nice thing about AccuQuilt is it cuts all the dog ears and all that off for you, so it's not as much to have to go back and do. Inez says, I love the colors. Thank you. They show it more Christmassy with three shades of red and three shades of green. And I didn't mind that, but when I found that fat quarter bundle I had bought probably 2 years ago, and it had all that gold in that, I don't know, it just really called to me and said that would just really work out and look great. So that's what I did. We'll see. Guys, I didn't even grab a project to work on tonight. Mm. But I'm sure behind me I have multiple things cut. So we will figure out something. It's hard to believe before next Sunday will be the July 4th, Independence Day, and it will be the holiday quilting bee. So we will be on air from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on July 4th for 3 hours. Mr. Russ has said he is going to join me. I'm thinking he's probably going to work on something other than the Yule log table runner, and I have not pulled any of the fabrics for that, so I need to get that done before I get out of town. But I am anxious to do that, and yet another table runner. But again, totally different than all the other ones I've done. But I just wanted something that I felt like I like to try to change the holiday quilting bees up, so we're not always doing just twin size or Villa Rosa or this. I mean, Stephanie was such a sweetheart last year to give us her table runner that we were able to do for Christmas. I need to get that one finished and quilted out. But that was, so I'm trying to mix some things up. And I will tell you, after doing the Villa Rosa one, the stripes and sparkle or sparkles and stripes, I can't wait to get that back from the long armor. I think it did turn out beautiful, but wow, I'm telling you, that just seemed like a lot of work. Oh, Tina says, great minds think alike. Katrina beat me to it, but echo quilting around each design. I think that may be what I do because I really like the design, so I don't want the. I think that's what worries me is if I free motion it or something that might take away from some of the design because I really do think that design itself is pretty cool. So we'll see. We'll get there for sure. I am positive. So what else have I been doing? Don't forget about the holiday quilting bee. Like I said, Russ is planning to be on with me. I'm not sure if he's going to be on the entire time or not, but we will make it work. Russ and I have not been together for God. It seems like forever. It is allpeoplequilt.com is where you get the pattern. It is a free pattern and it is called Yule Log. I will tell you, I selected this pattern based on the descriptions and the things that I read because I was not overly impressed with the picture and the choices that they used on the front. But I do think this will be a fun pattern. And to be honest, it's kind of a modified log cabin, and I have really not done a log cabin before. So we'll see. I got to figure out what fabrics I want to pull and get ready for that. So that'll be another thing on the list. But we will have prizes and opportunities. So please plan to join. Tell your friends, neighbors, and anyone else about it. But I am excited to have yet another holiday. It just seems like things have been going so fast and furious. Oh, Katrina says I finished the quilt that we worked on Memorial Day so along yesterday. How awesome is that? I tell you what, that there was a lot more there. If you followed the instructions and how to put the squares together with the stripes and that, their instructions were dead on. You just kind of had to trust it. And like when I did the first one, I was amazed that it did come together just right. I did cheat because I did cut all my stars out with the AccuQuilt, and I did put them all in my little Herbert, my Epic 2 Viking, and let him stitch down all the stars for me and then cut the squares and then put them together. So I did not have to do the applique on there. So be interesting to know if you all did something similar or if you just did the applique. Martha's Creative for Life says table runners are the one so great to change out for the seasons and holidays. Yes, and it's funny. My niece came down. I guess it was last year, and we were talking about something, and I said, "Oh, I think I have that tablecloth or table runner." I said, "Let's look in the closet," and she walked in the closet and she goes, "My God, I've never seen so many table runners and tablecloths." And she says, "But you have them all ironed and hung." And I was like, well, yeah, because the problem was I was running out of drawer space, but I had all this space in the closet that I wasn't using, the higher up space, right? So I ended up hanging all my tablecloths and table runners. And she goes, I'm going home and empty my drawers. I had no idea. She said, I've got, uh, closet rod space that I could use for that. So I do like having a lot of table runners and that. I do like switching things out in the house. My entire house, including the outside and that, has been decorated for Pride. I really wanted to go this weekend and get everything out so I could flip it for the 4th of July, but it just didn't happen. So I didn't get the storage to get the stuff out that I needed to flip the house. And I probably won't get it done now till after the 4th. But, it is what it is. So I can't, I'm not going to worry about it. But I would have liked to have this house at least decorated for the 4th of July before while we were gone. But I do want to program the lights and have the lights in the 4th of July on the house because I do have, of course, continuous lighting outside. So I do want to turn the lights on for the 4th of July. I think it'll be cool. Katrina says, I'm hoping to be there, not sure what I'll work on. There are too many project boxes to choose from. Amen. Amen. If I can relate to anything, it's certainly that. Um, Jackie says, I found so many half finished projects, but I'm going to try to be there. Yeah, come and work on whatever you want. I mean, I pick a project and call it a so long so we can all kind of work on the same project together and that. But, if you do, you do. And if you don't, you don't. It's really up to you. So bring whatever you want to work on what you want. Feel free to drop some pictures or comments over and share what you're working on. At the end of the day, it's about us getting to chat together on a holiday before we go have hot dogs and hamburgers or whatever you're going to do for the 4th, and just have some time to be together. Oh, Katrina says, I've had my red, white, and blue door quilt up since the day after Easter. Yeah, I get that. I tend to do Easter and then I flip to spring and I truly do spring. I used to do more patriotic, but now I do spring. And I guess I kind of ignore Memorial Day a little bit and go into the spring colors in that. And then June 1st, I flip to Pride and do all of the rainbows and stuff for Pride during the month of June. Then I do patriotic in July. And usually by the middle of August, I start fall. So even though it's 110, 115 in Phoenix, I have all my fall decorations out starting middle of August. And I leave those up for about 6 weeks or so, 5 weeks. And then late September, I switch everything to Halloween because if I don't get the Halloween out by the last week of September, I just don't have enough time to get it all out because I do have like 4 Halloween trees and other things that I have to get out. And then, but right behind that, is Christmas. It's just hard to believe, guys. This year's over. We're over halfway there. How crazy is that? June 25th was 6 months till Christmas. Oh my goodness. Oh, Alex is here, living and crafting with MS. Hey, welcome in. Thanks for being here. She said she's going to be working on a quilt of valor. That is even more fun. Easter was so late this year. I just skipped May Star. I may put it up. Yeah, I get that. I will say it really did kind of throw me a little bit because Easter was so super late this year. Mm. All right, what else we got going on? So that is the holiday quilting bee. I showed you the projects that I got completed. We talked a little bit about my new long armor. And like I said, I could not be happier with her. She has just done some really cool things for me. And I've been so happy in working with her. And now I've got to try to figure out. So here's the projects that I have sitting here. So I bought this Bears and Hugs kit I think last year at Christmas in July, and it is all in cat fabrics and just too adorable. It is all cut, and I've been sitting here waiting for someone to get to it. So I really do need to get to that. What else have I got to work on? Too much. I thought I had in here the kitten one that Russ already got knocked out like the weekend he bought it. And I'm planning on doing that for a Christmas gift. So I really need to get that going and get that knocked out. And I'm not seeing it to work on it tonight because that was the plan. And then I'll let the day get away from me. I've been trying to update the Etsy store and get some stuff out on the Etsy site. Actually been busy with Etsy in some sales. So I've been working on that and wanted to make sure. Sorry, I did not mean to just keep my back to you. I thought I'd be able to grab some stuff to work on. And of course, it wasn't as simple as I thought it would be. So, what else am I working on? Oh, I am really super excited. So, as you know, I've got the New Year's Eve retreat posted and taking registrations and slowly building the 14 participants for that, and just knowing that I plan way far out in advance and other folks don't necessarily plan as far out as me, and that's fine too. But one of the cool things is what happened. What am I thinking of? One of the cool things around, I have got the 5 retreats posted for 2026. So I am planning on doing a men's retreat over Memorial Day weekend, a Christmas in July retreat over July 4th, Memorial Day doing a Fall Frenzy retreat, a Thanksgiving retreat, and then another New Year's Eve retreat. I've got the center reserved, got all of that set, and met with the instructor in that. A new local friend is what I'm going to say that is going to help me host the men's retreat in May. So looking at, he's a pattern writer. He's going to come out and teach a couple of different patterns and help uh, put some things through. So really excited about that. The dates are out there. The pricing registration's not open yet because I just flushed out those details Friday with him. So really excited to be able to announce that in a few weeks and talk about what a men's retreat is going to look like for us and what will be involved with that, and hopefully get some more retreats in the Phoenix area starting in next year in 2026. Brian says, I'm going to work on a reindeer pillow. The pattern also makes a table runner, but I want a project I can start and finish. I get that. I so do. And I'll be honest, I have yet to make a pillow. And then I was watching someone popped up on YouTube the other day and was talking about how they're making a lot more pillows now. And I think they called them pocket pillows because they got to the point they didn't store pillows anymore and realized they could just make basically the covers and just keep swapping out, and then they wouldn't have all that to store. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. I know in um, Donna and Fran's 3 yard book, in her Make It Home, she's got several table runners and pillows in here. And I've watched her video talking about it, and I thought, how cool would it be to make some of that? She's got one she calls the dresser scarf and pillow cover, and it is kind of this pattern that she focuses on with that one. But I purposely bought the book thinking that I might work on some of these. So we'll see. Um, like I said, I'm trying to do some other things besides, I enjoy doing the quilts, but I think it's what has helped motivate me a little bit is being able to check off the box a little bit more around just getting projects done. So that's been kind of cool to get to too. So we'll see. Sally says, I have one of those skinny Christmas trees on the porch, never took it down, so I decorated for various holidays right now. It's summer. I think that is so cool. My niece hates taking her tree down. So she, after New Year's Eve, around the 15th of January, she decorates it for Valentine's. Then she decorates it with shamrocks. Then she decorates it with Easter. And then I don't know if she did it this year or not because Easter was so late, but then she flips it to a Star Wars tree for May 4th. And then I know after that she switches it to patriotic, and I think it stays patriotic all summer. Valley Honeybee says it's hot in Chicago. I have a question. Do you start your fabrics before you cut it? So, of course, like everything else, it's all a personal preference, right? But yes, I starch all of my fabrics before I cut anything. And I now use the new Magic from Faultless, um, the quilting and crafting spray. That is my go to. I've used Best Press and I've used other stuff, but I like the Magic spray personally from that group. And so that is what I am doing now. I have tried different things. I've got friends that will tell me they will not touch a piece of fabric. That when they go to the store, the first thing they do is come home and throw it in the washer and wash it. I am not that person. I'm not going to do that. I don't like cutting fabric until I have pressed it. And I've gone back and forth with either dry heat or steam. I've got a Laura Star, all of that. And what I have found really works for me, makes me less aggravated as far as thread runs and things like that, is starching and putting the fabric that way. So I typically cut my fabric into the strips in that uh, for the sizes that I need. No, I'm going to need to cut. Then I soak it all down with starch, let it dry good, press it all out, and then cut it. But that's just, that's me. That's the way I do it. That's what I like. I've got others that will tell you they never starch it or they just use a little, spray water as they're pressing out sometimes. Yeah, I think we all learn a technique that works for us. But what works for me is I like my fabric to be a little stiffer. And then the first thing I do when I'm done with a quilt is I typically throw it in the washer with a lot of the color catcher sheets and that. But I just like working with my fabrics so much better when they're starched. Sally says, Brian, it's fun right now. It's flamingo sunglasses in summer. How adorable is that? So Sally's gonna love when I get my flamingo quilt back because that is one that I took to the long armor. So I am really excited. It's about flamingos all in the pool, all in inner tubes and that. Mm. Alex says, can't wait till the retreat. Just have to figure out how to get there. Amen. You do have a little bit of distance to get here, but we are excited to have you and to be able to host you. And it is a good birthday present to yourself. So we are excited for you to get here. Oh, Katrina says, did you celebrate National Pink Flamingo Day last week? I did not know there was such a thing. Next year, we should do something special for that. See, there needs to be a National Gnome Day too. I mean, if we have a National Pink Flamingo Day, we should have a Gnome Day. Jackie says, I pulled some seasonal fabrics to make some pillow covers for the sectional. See, I think that that's something. So, Brian, see what he started? I think that would be really, I think that's a really cool idea. I like switching out pillows and that more, but I'll tell you, I've just been kind of lazy with some of the house decorating. It's like there's so much, like what do I choose? What do I work on? Martha says, I love an envelope pillow. I really would like to try one. I have not tried one yet. Sally says she didn't see the National Day until the day after. There's Zaza. Yeah, appropriate. Yes, Katrina says color catchers are amazing. Yes, they are. I don't know where they were when I was trying to figure out how to do laundry back in the day, right? But they, I used to wash everything in cold water just because I knew that was the safest bet for me. So that's what I always did. Sally says she uses water and vodka to spray her fabrics. I used to wash my fabrics, but no more. Trina says my son wants vodka in his advent calendar this year. Tito's is the best, but Costco's is much cheaper. I know a lot of folks that do use the vodka. I honestly should give it a try. I've got the faultless starch. I've got the other one. I can't think of the name of it now, but I've got about 4 or 5 different ones that I tried, and the one that I liked the most was Magic, and so that's the one I ended up buying a gallon of and using. But I like the way it soaks into the fabrics and that's how I ended up. I think kind of sticking with it, but it just made sense for me. Sally says, I have a bunch of flamingo fabric. Sally, the person I was going to make a quilt for, passed away unexpectedly. Oh, Sally, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's sad. I have a really, really cute pink flamingo fabric for Christmas with their little Christmas stocking hats and all that. And yet, I have not been able to I just haven't got to it. It's on the shelf along with everything else. Doesn't help that I put about 20, 22 new fabrics on Etsy today. So that tells you what I've been working on today. I've got all new bolts, and I've still got bolts sitting on the table that I haven't gotten in. And then I want to start getting them cut up for 3-yard quilt kits and that. And, it's just, there's just lots to do if you want to keep yourself busy. Jackie says, I wash the fabrics to get rid of the commercial sizing, then starch with Stay Flow. Yep, there you go. See, all of us, I think, find that technique that works best for us. I like Katrina. She wants 25 little bottles that so they all can't be the best. Would be nice. My son-in-law is a huge bourbon drinker, so he very much enjoys bourbon. And so last year I gave him a bourbon package for Christmas, and I think he got 3/5 of bourbon. So he got one. So they had like a quarter plan, a half year plan, or a full year plan. I think it was. So you could do 3, 6, or 12 months. I don't think you could do 9. I ended up doing the 3-month plan for him, which was way more money than John typically spends. So he's not getting that this year. But he did really like it because they gave him some very unique bourbons that he had not even necessarily heard of or tried. And just fun fact, bourbon can only be made in Kentucky. Other places don't make bourbon. Bourbon comes from Kentucky. It is a Kentucky whiskey. And like I said, she was a dear friend from her American Airline days back in DFW. It's it can be hard, I tell you. And it's funny, especially if you've stayed tenure at any company. I've only been a couple, with 2 companies for about 10 years. Um, and then it seems like that's kind of maxed out. But I still have friends from, several companies ago that we still talk and still keep in touch with. And it's just fun because you all experience so much together. They're a whole different type of family, and we care as much about them or their kids. And it's like, oh my God, I remember when your kid was born and now your kid's graduating high school. And yeah, it's just crazy. Mm. Trina said she loved blue motorcycles to drink. So when she had her first surgery, Howard and I found her a blue motorcycle ornament that hung in her hospital. Yeah, see, it's that kind of stuff that you just can't replace, right? It's that stuff that makes such a difference. So the other big thing we got done this weekend is we got the garden cleaned. So we finally have all the weeds, everything out of the garden. We got yellow squash out of the garden this weekend. We've got cherry tomatoes still, believe it or not. And we had yellow peppers. Our first yellow peppers came in. So we'll be using those for fajitas or something. So it was fun to get that out of the garden. Pretty much everything else is gone. So we actually paid my landscaper to come help get the garden back in shape. So because we have the 3 huge plots, everything was just getting overgrown and just crazy too fast, and we just couldn't keep up with it. So I paid them because one of the other gardeners who police us for us let me know that we had too many weeds and that I needed to get those addressed. So they have now been addressed, and she can be happy and she can go find someone else to um, chase after because I had already planned to take care of it on Saturday this weekend. It's just funny how people are. Like, I guess they don't trust that some people can just take care of their own business. Interesting enough, she also is the same one that called and wanted to come pick all my tomatoes because she was scared that we weren't picking them fast enough and she wanted my tomatoes. And I was like, I think you need to back off. I've got plenty of friends in that I can give tomatoes to. Plus, we probably went through 10 pounds of bacon making BLTs. So we had some fresh lettuce, tomatoes, and Costco bacon for a while. So my cholesterol is probably better now that the tomatoes are dying. It's just sad how quick here everything comes in so much earlier, but then because of the heat and that, it just dies down too fast. So it's just crazy. But again, we're talking about, we're starting Christmas projects in July, and it's like when I was making these fall and Thanksgiving and all these table runners and that, and it's like, well, wait a minute, how did we get there so quick? It's just funny because if I don't start getting them done, and that's why I cannot see, I have no idea where I put that kitten quilt kit. It's all cut, it's ready to be sewn, and that was the plan, was to work on that tonight. And obviously, I didn't get to turn on the sewing machine. So that will be the next thing. My plan for this weekend is to actually work on June Taylor stuff. And so I got like the zipper cosmetic bag. So again, it's a quilt as you go, and it came with the zippers and all that. This one is a tote kit. Again, it came with the zippers and that. A lot of these were on sale clearance from AccuQuilt because I guess AccuQuilt bought June Taylor. But I grabbed some of these because they're all quilt as you go, which I thought would make it simpler. This is the Sophie tote, which I thought looks really cute because I want to get some tote bags and stuff knocked out, and I wanted to take something to the park home that I could work on, hopefully get projects completed there and get them back without having to worry about the different seam allowances, right? Because I only stitch on Juki. I'm a Juki boy. I'm going to be a Juki boy. It took me forever to find the machines that I love, but I love everything about my Jukis. I won't have anything else moving forward. What I do need to do is make Hercules over here work a whole lot harder and do some more work with him. I've got um, the one applique, which is part of that Stitch in Heaven collection. I've got him out for Easter and started working on the blanket stitch for him. Now, make sure I don't want to lose this piece. So I started working on him. He's all pressed down, all ready to go. And but I've got a lot. That's when I figured out I've got a lot of practice that needs to happen because all of this has to be not hand stitched, but to me, it's hand stitching. So I've got ways to go to learn to do that. I do like this machine. I've thought about whether or not do I really want that to be my primary versus my straight stitch machine, but I just love Jake over here, and he works for me so well. He, I did notice a difference when I was stitching the wall hanging today because again, there's so many seams and intersections and all that that I knew when I was going through, like 3 layers, 4 layers, whatever. Jake didn't give me any hiccups. He didn't give me any argument. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, so I do kind of like this straight stitch machine. I don't know that I need a fancy machine to do some of the other stuff, but we'll see. I do enjoy working on those things. Everybody's talking about how fast everything is. Katrina says, my oldest grandson turns 13 in September. The middle granddaughter is going to hit her double digits. Right? I mean, just so my oldest granddaughter is 7, Ava Lynn. So you all have met her. She'll be 8 come November. She's starting 2nd grade next month. My grandson, which you didn't meet at the beach this year, he was on last year with me for a little bit. He's not camera shy as much as he just doesn't get it and doesn't understand it, but he wants to kind of come say hi because that's what his sister does. So he doesn't want to be left out. Although this year he was fine about it. He's 5. He's starting 1st grade. So yeah, I'm telling my daughter like, okay, so both of my grandchildren are in elementary school now, right? And I mean, 2nd grade turns into 5th grade, which turns to middle school. Which yeah, it's like wow, guys, like, where's that happening? Plus, I've got 2 other grandchildren that are out in Missouri. Um, and so it's just funny how quick and fast all of this stuff happens to us. Katrina says, I love the gnomes. Inez says, I love the gnomes. I do too. I am so happy. I ended up joining. I kept saying I wasn't going to, and then I ended up joining the Stitch Along from Stitch in Heaven. This one, it was called Gnome Mania. The August is a beekeeper Binks. August beekeeper Binks. Oh, and so who's going to love that? Danielle, if she's still on. But how adorable is that? And it comes with everything other than the fact you just got to, press it all down and then stitch it all. So I've got a long ways to go. And then, when it's done, I'll have 12 appliques um, gnomes to put together and quilt out in that. So it's something else that I need to work on. So, guys, I so appreciate you jumping on tonight, letting me rattle on. I cannot believe when is the 4th? What day is the 4th? Because we're going up to the park home. Come on, calendar. We're going up to the park home on Wednesday. So, and they're having a concert and potluck in that on July 3rd. And then the town actually has something on the 4th. But before all that happens, next Friday, we will be together. Come for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, or 3 hours, whatever makes sense for you all. Feel free to jump on, be part of it, and be there with us. I really enjoy having you all. I appreciate the support in that you all give me and that you're all part of this. Anxious for another holiday quilting bee. It's just something that popped in my mind last year, and I think 4th of July is when we started, if I'm not mistaken. So I probably should know that. I probably should go back and look, but life gets busy. But with that said, I will see each and hopefully all of you next Friday. Hope you all have an amazing start to your week. Mine's going to be a short week. Praise Jesus. I am very happy to have a short week in front of me. But until then, as always, guys, happy crafting.